Uber discussing paying 1.9 of its shares, or just over $60 a share, for Grubhub.
Oh, they're still talking about the price of sale.
The price for
Grubhub.
Oh,
All
Grubhub.
right. Yeah.
Whoops. I forgot to
Shares
unmute
of Uber
Benzinga.
pumping a bit here. 32.51 UBER. Shares of Grubhub, GRUB, not reacting too much right now.
Uber News. Uber's popping again.
CMRX, Chimerix shares pulling back now after resuming. $3.37. Charlie Michael Romeo X-Ray. Again, share spiking and halted as the company's CEO appearing on Fox Business. CMRX.
All right.
Berkshire.
There was
Berkshire Hathaway, presumably? He never finished his thought. All right.
Don't feel bad, Jennifer. Uber kicks my butt too all the time.
Getting some choppy video from your side today, Mike. I'm not sure why.
Huh. There.
How does it look? How does it look for you? All good?
It looks all good on this part, but I notice on the stream it is kind of choppy. Do you want to try to reconnect?
Yeah, we can try that again. Let's. There he goes.
Poof. Let's see if that helps out a little bit. Because it's all nice and sunny here, so.
Yeah. Doesn't seem to be making a difference.
Not sure what it
You're still all choppy.
all choppy. Huh. And let me try something else. See if shutting down TI will help out. I'm not going to use that right now. Maybe.
You're running out of compute power over there.
Yeah.
UBER,
I think it's the
Uber,
computer
January $65 call sweep now. That's UBER.
Wow, look at Microsoft. Still upset about missing that Microsoft trade. It's a good opportunity, and Look at that. Jumped up $1, came back $1.50 all the way to 77.50-ish.
And NVC, Nanovericities moving again. November, Victor, Charlie, and NVC.
And, oh well. What are you guys talking about anyways? Uber? What's Uber up to? Oh my. Things are moving. Uber's motoring here.
So Raggy, what I would say about creating that rule is I would say either you have to stick with your initial thought and then create a rule that you can put in place to completely reevaluate the stock before you flip your position to see if you're short, or just put a rule that prevents you from trading it opposite of what you took on the initial trade until you can kind of calm down and figure out what's causing you to constantly flip back and forth.
It's good. We got a couple of members that are catching these last minute moves here, and they're pushing their P&L in the right direction, so that's good. Pamela on YouTube, you're asking what caused today's horrible market. I guess it depends how you define horrible. There were some lovely moves.
Sanderson Farms sees 270 virus cases out of 17,000 employees. Sees 500 absentees a day more than normal.
I'm keeping the Benzinga on just because there's been some interesting
That's
news.
Alpha Foxtrot Michael.
We'll see if he gets too annoying. I'm going to banish him, but for now we'll keep him here. But I don't know. I'm not sure that I would agree, Pamela, on the premise that it was a horrible market. I mean, it certainly had
IZEA getting another pop here, 64 cents, up 22% on IZEA. Some big volume in IZEA now. India Zulu Echo Alpha.
Really? I hate it when he starts talking about a 60-cent stock. Like, do we really need to know that? Anyways. Yeah, it's certainly been an interesting market, but
Bill Miller says doesn't see market as dramatically overvalued. Says Amazon could double in 3 years. That's AMZN from CNBC tweeting now.
yeah, he's going to start talking about everything that's coming across his desk, it sounds like. Yeah, and Ash, that's a good point, right? One person's bad day could be an awesome day for someone else, or a frustrating day for a third person. So, you know, it all depends on what you're able to make of it, and what you're looking at. Because, you know, if you're looking at the right or
Shares
wrong
of
thing.
Amazon at 23.58.
All right, Squawk Guy's banished. He annoyed me.
Banishing him.
I'm banishing him. Yes. You know, because Brian's here. Hello, Brian.
Hey, everybody. Hello.
Yeah.
See what you did it earlier today.
Got the whole fam family. Wow, so Codex has really been on fire, eh? Codex. Microsoft's coming back up. Anybody in a trade? Peter, you're often in trades at this time of day.
Yeah, I'm not right now. I was still busy, you know, berating myself for missing the Microsoft trade earlier. So I missed that opportunity, but not actively in anything, no.
Yeah. I got done this morning with MU to the short side and JD to the long side. So. Which.
There we go, Brian. You got Brian with us now.
Hey, Leo. So we've had some not much price action here on any of the airlines by the looks of it. or the cruise lines for that matter. So Uber's up. Uber's green on the day. Netflix green on the day. PayPal is green. Square is very red. Two of the similar stocks going in different directions. Gold, what's gold doing? GLD was, I know gold was up this morning. It is up a little bit here, but the miners are flat on the day. Sometimes that'll happen if the market's really selling off hard. People will start to sell everything, and then they really don't care what gold is doing. They just sell everything, including their mining stocks. So quite often gold and miners will trade together, but in these wild and crazy times, sometimes they don't.
These wild and crazy times.
These wild and crazy times. Yes, that's what it is. GoDaddy. GoDaddy's up there, eh? What's GoDaddy been doing? Okay, it's been on a bit of a tear in the last 10 minutes or so. Oh, it's got a nice daily chart too. Wow. It's funny, it's never hit my, it's never been a stock I've looked at. It's pretty close to back of the February high, 79 bucks. It's only a couple bucks away from that. What is that? What is that, Peter? Is that just people getting lots of starting their businesses at home and getting their website set up to sell masks and
To sell masks from home? Your homemade masks?
yeah, exactly. Everybody's selling masks now. Go on Etsy.
Yeah.
Seems to be the hot ticket item.
Yeah, well, I guess that's it makes sense. It's the fashion item of 2020. The homemade
exactly.
mask.
Yeah. Yeah, when
The
they look
homemade
back,
mask.
yeah, when they look back on 2020, it'll be one of the features of the year.
Yeah.
Designer mask.
Yeah.
So for everyone in the room, Peter just posted a survey that we kindly ask you to fill out. It's on Dr. Cast material, and to see what you would like in the future from them. It'll kind of help us out in developing what way forward. So it's very short, shouldn't take very long, a couple minutes if that. If you're like me, surveys take about 30 seconds.
Yeah. I want to address something that Pamela's talking about. It's interesting. Online, Pamela was asking about, hey, why such a bad day? And she said, hey, it sounds like the stocks that we're talking about are generally too expensive for her budget. And she's a newbie and just learning with small caps. And a bunch of alarm bells went off in that statement. So let me just quickly try and address a couple of points in there. Small caps is not necessarily a good way to start for a newbie. They're actually harder. They're more volatile. And it's not going to set a good platform. The other thing is, the way we advocate in trading, in theory, almost any stock is within your price range if you manage your risk appropriately. You could trade a $200 stock just as easily as a $2 stock, as long as you understand the risk you're undertaking, even with a small account. If you're starting with a very small account, you're like, well, hey, I've only got $5,000. I can't possibly trade $200 stocks. I would argue you absolutely can. You just have to manage your risk appropriately, meaning that, on a $2 stock, you might take a 20-cent risk or a 10-cent risk. On a $200 stock, you might have to take $1 or a $2 risk, depending on how the stock is moving. I trade Microsoft all the time, which is about $170, $180 right now, and I can manage that with a 20-cent risk. So yes, in that case, I would be taking a big enough share size that it would be problematic in a small account. But if you're trading, all you have to do is reduce your share size, and you can still get a good return. Like Microsoft today has moved several dollars, so you only had to you could take 10 shares. 10 shares. 10 shares, and it moves $3 or $4. You just made 30 or 40 bucks, right? That's not bad. So Rajesh, my risk is the same on every single trade that I take. So right now I'm working with a $200 risk per trade, which means that when I'm taking, if I'm taking Tesla, which is an extreme example because it's 800 bucks. I might be saying, well, I have to take a $2 risk on Tesla, so at a $200 risk per trade, I'm only taking 100 shares of Tesla. Whereas I could be trading AMD, and I could take it with a 5-cent risk, which means that at a $200 risk per trade, I'm obviously I'm taking a ton more share size. So I normally take a 10-cent risk, just by the way, which means I would take like 2,000 shares on AMD. But, when I was starting, I was trading with $10 and $20 risk, but the exact same theory applied. I'm taking a $10 risk on Tesla, and it's $2 risk per share. I took 5 shares. 5 shares. That's it. I could still make my $30 or $40 if it moved the way I wanted, but I was still risking, my $10, and that's it. It's doable. It absolutely is.
Looks like the SPY is going to try to maybe move higher here. It's made a lower high. See if it can continue to strengthen into the close here. We've got just over 15 minutes left.
Good question, Daniel. Yes, I'm aware that you can pay less commission sometimes on some stocks. I don't really factor that in. I just trade what I trade, and I find that the commissions work themselves out. I don't really worry about the bigger commission, and I've tried never to worry about. To me, the analogy I always use, it's like worrying about the sales tax on an item you're buying. You can either afford it or you can't. The sales tax is just something you pay on top of it. So does it really matter to me if the sales tax is 14% or 8%? I have to be able to afford the item first. So that's just the way I think of it. I mean, but I know others have a different perspective, and that's fine.
No, that's a good point, because people sometimes make decisions at the end of the year based on taxes. I mean, sometimes that works, and sometimes it's you shouldn't be making your decisions on taxes. So again, it's a personal thing.
Yeah. Huh.
GDX continues to kind of creep up
Everything's
there.
making a bounce after that last little sell-off.
Yeah.
Yeah, Raggy, I see your post. I was just reading it through. I mean, you're asking a tough question. This is you're trading for the excitement, and you can't seem to take it seriously. I mean, then maybe you just accept it's a hobby. You're only going to trade for the fun, not to make money. In which case, maybe you want to do it in sim. If you're treating it like a video game, trade the video game. I mean, I'm not sure what advice to give you to say you need to take it seriously, other than, I mean, surely the money would talk to you. If you've got enough money that you can afford to lose it, then go for it. I mean, there are people who are well capitalized who have traded and lost hundreds of thousands of dollars and said, oh, well, that was fun, and don't worry about it. But maybe you're one of those. I don't know. If you're not, then hopefully the money will speak to you and convince you to take it seriously. If not, just trade in sim. If you just want the action, then go for it.
Yeah.
If that's not real enough, then accept the fact that you're just going to lose money. Sounds harsh, but
Yeah, this is.
And maybe you'll actually start to make money. That notion, accepting that you're going to lose, can really be the catalyst for profitability for some.
Well, it's a funny thing. I mean, it's almost counterintuitive, but like we talk about people who don't take, if you don't stick to your stop, usually what happens then, you finally stop out of a really, really bad trade when the pain gets so much that it forces you out. Maybe, Raggy, you haven't hit that point where the pain is enough. Maybe you need to lose enough money such that you figure that out. Not the way I'd normally advocate people learn, but it's a harsh way to, it's almost like you're forcing yourself to pay for a lesson. If you want to do that, I mean, hell, tell you what, send to my account, $10,000. I will hire someone local to come and beat you, and we all make money. Anyways, maybe that's a little harsh. Anyways, I think really you've got to figure out what's going to convince you to take it seriously, or just accept, like I said, that hey, a lot of people day trade and they're not doing it to make money. They do it because they love it. They love the chase. They love the fun. It's like going to a casino, right? People go to casinos all the time. They know they're going to lose money. At least I hope they do, because almost everybody does. You're paying for the entertainment value, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. Casinos have $1 trillion business globally on just taking people's money for fun. So, like, that's what it is, right?
It's exactly what it is.
So, there's validity in it.
I mean, Raggy, I would also look at you. You just have to look at your personality. I mean, it may not be about the money. It may be about just what you want personally. So.
Nona runs. You can decorate your place however you want. Maybe you can get some funky, that carpeting you would never actually put in your house, and some over-the-top chandeliers and little gold paint on the walls. You too can live in a casino or a Trump hotel.
One or the other.
Yeah.
Max lost at a casino $20.
That's what my wife does.
You and me are there.
My wife takes $20 and she goes to the slot machines and she's like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna play at the casino, and she risks $20 and that's it. She actually, once we were in Vegas, this was awesome, and she ended up where she was almost down. Anyway, she was down to almost nothing. She had like, she's like, I can't lose it all, and she hits the thing to print a receipt. She said, go cash this for me, and I look at it, 35 cents. I'm like, I am not going to the cashier with your receipt for 35 cents. I'm not. She's what? It's 35 cents. I'm like, well, you go. I am not going.
They would look at you like you had some
I know,
a serious trading problem or gambling problem at that point.
But it's funny. But it spoke to the psychology, right? To her, getting the 35 cents back, she didn't lose $20, right? She lost $19.65. But she was okay because she didn't lose all of her $20. I'm like, well, I can't. Like, if that's that's how it makes you comfortable. But we play games like that with ourselves, and we do it in day trading too, and we have to keep that in mind. Anyways, let's get back to trading because things are moving. Sorry, Mike, you're gonna say something. Though.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I play Wheel of Fortune. That's the one slot machine that I play in Vegas. And I either win or lose.
All right. Well, here we go. So, whoa, SPY is closing strong into the close. I didn't hear if there was some kind of imbalance. Codex is nice and going out strong. High of all-time high by the looks of it.
This is interesting. News release: Trump is planning to name former head of GlaxoSmithKline's vaccine unit to help U.S. efforts to accelerate coronavirus vaccine development. This is the tough one, because for a government agency to try and accelerate, other than providing seed funding to many different like developers, I guess vaccine developers, I'm not sure the government can actually do much. The FDA could, because the FDA could help in putting a team on fast tracking approvals and doing a review process a lot more quickly. But really that's traditionally an area that always comes out of R&D in the private sector, and it's actually hard to ramp up and accelerate that other than get everybody focused on it, right? You put a big prize on it, something like that, but it's very indirect. Yeah. Hiltzy, am I doubting the efficiency of bureaucrats? Yes. Yes, I am.
All the time.
Well, but actually, I want to be careful in saying that. I do live in a government town here in Ottawa, and a lot of my best friends are bureaucrats. Isn't that a lot? It's like saying a lot of, I know a lot of black people. Anyways, I don't know, it's politically incorrect. My wife and I make fun of that all the time because I'm always waiting when I make a comment for somebody to tell me that I'm racist and say, by the way, have you met my wife? And bring my wife up and have everybody have their jaws drop. So, anyways,
Sort of like, take my wife, please.
Yeah, no. I don't actually, individual bureaucrats, most of them actually are extremely well-meaning and some extremely, bright and effective people. But a bureaucratic process is difficult because by definition, bureaucracy is designed to protect itself and not to change. Like, bureaucracy is actually designed to protect the institutions. And even well-meaning people within the system that want to change it have a significant difficulty in changing it just because of the way bureaucracy is designed. And the bigger the bureaucracy, the harder it is to change. The U.S. bureaucracy
Never thought of it that way, but it's true.
Is arguably one of the biggest in the world, right? So it's well designed to protect its own institutions. That's what it does. Not intentionally, but inadvertently, that's what it does. Anyways, I've worked in a lot of them, so. Guys,
continuing.
we are seeing the markets to push higher here, Brian. You're right.
So we're well off the lows of the day. 279 was low. We're now trading 282. Just as I had suspected. JD has come back. Codex is going to go out looking strong by the looks of it. Let's see.
Yeah, I don't. There was a. Oh, go ahead, Brad.
Yeah, no, go ahead. I was commenting on JD. Seems to be just keeps plugging along higher.
Yeah, I'm watching AMD right now, and it's moving. And SQ is back up at VWAP as well. One of your favorites, Brian.
Yeah, it's come up $1 since I looked at it last. PayPal's strengthening up here.
Seeing a lot of stuff move up into the close. I had a good day today. Another good day. Is very different than yesterday. Yesterday I took 15 trades, a ton of trades yesterday, much higher than my average. Today I only took 6 or 7, which is more in line with my average, and only 2 stop outs, and then a couple that trended really nicely. Even though I was angry at missing a couple of others that had some great opportunity, but I missed. But again, a shout out to Eamon, who gave us a great trade off of Uber today. He caught it right at the bottom.
Yeah.
If you look at that bottom pinch, right at 12:15. Let me call Uber up on the screen here. He actually called us like literally right at the. If we go back here, right down here, he was watching it. He said, "Yeah, it's rounded." I think he got it right before 31, right under 31. And it was a great call and a great reversal. Played it all the way back to VWAP. He actually got it early, but some others managed to, including myself, managed to ride it right back up to VWAP. So that was good.
Wow. Yeah, he got it right at when it was pretty extended from the VWAP.
Yeah, and you could see it actually sort of rounding that bottom. Now, not to say it couldn't have broken further, but it made sense, and that's why I joined him in the trade, as did a number of others, so that was good. Alan, that's
Yeah,
it's a big question.
yeah, that's a nice trade. Just looking at the pattern here. Not really even, not a second bottom. It was just a nice sort of, or like you said, a nice rounding bottom here. Punched up through the 9 moving average and then got on the other side of it.
So, and Megan, specifically to answer your question about, so what was the signal? There was a couple of signals that aren't strong individually, but taken together gave us some confidence in it. So one, like we were talking about, it was, and I've got it here up on my screen, it was rounding this bottom. So I like sometimes those rounded bottoms that show me it wasn't able to break lower. You can see there was this one candle right here where it tried to break lower and couldn't. So that gave me a little confidence. The next, so that's the two things, right? Candle that couldn't break lower, rounding bottom. Third item would be, look at this volume. I saw this suddenly volume came into it as it was sort of rounding that, which I thought was going to push it higher because I got in somewhere around here, right over 31. And the last thing was the time and sales, which I can't recreate to show you, but the time and sales were showing me more orders being put in on the ask above the active price, which showed me there were some people that were looking to sell at a higher price. And sometimes that draws the price up to it. So if I saw large bids down below the bid, that would have made me nervous, but I was seeing asks start to be put in above the price. So the combination of those things is what I said, okay, this is a good opportunity, and why I took it.
Looking at Uber right now, I wonder if you look at the 5-minute chart, it's really looking to push the high of the day right here at the pre-market high, wedging up.
Yeah, well, it's certainly at the high of the day right now, and you're right, that pre-market high whipped early this morning at 7 a.m., 32.99, so I guess it's over it.
Yep.
Interesting.
So, see if it wants to run into the close this last couple minutes.
This area has always been a significant area for Uber ever since it IPO'd. You can see that there's in this range between $30 and $35. Look at how many times it sort of bounced in that area. So could be a little uncertain for a few days. If it ever broke above 35, I would be looking for a run up to at least 40 or higher. But right now, it could do anything in here.
Wow, we're getting a lot of time in sales. Big order flow here.
Lots of green on.
Yeah, Uber's had big volume today.
Yeah, they're hitting 33.05, but it's not budging. The ask is still.
Yeah.
We'll bring this.
They just keep reloading it.
Bring this on the screen here. You guys can see.
Yeah, they just keep reloading at 305, and then you get sort of these half penny trades to 304.5. It's a lot of somebody who's got a lot of shares to get rid of here.
Yeah. Guys, we're just 30 seconds away from the close. We're going to do a few things today, so we'll just give you some announcements, let you know what's happening in the room right after the close. Then we're going to talk earnings. We got a few things that have earnings starting at 4:05, although there's one right at 4, but we'll come to that in a minute. And then we'll do a recap of the day after that and just go over some of the stuff that worked, some that didn't, and set ourselves up for tomorrow. So stay tuned. Bell's coming in 2 seconds.
Here we go.
That's it.
It's all out.
That was the bell for today. Let's jump right into a couple of things that we can talk about. And maybe, Mike, I'll pass it over to you.
All right. So this evening we'll have creating a business plan. This is really good if you're just new to day trading and trying to get everything started. We're going to talk about how that business plan can really set the foundation for success as you go on. And even if you're an older trader, you may have something already, but you never know. You might learn something here or there that can be beneficial to you. One thing we do have we uploaded the templates onto the download portion of the website. So if you want to pull the templates, it'll help you follow along this evening during the success webinar.
Just something we were joking about earlier, Mike. When you say older trader, you mean a more experienced trader, not like one who gets a senior discount.
Yeah, that's a good one, right? Senior discount. More experienced trader.
Yeah.
Because what I found is just having a business plan really gives you your left and right lateral limits and keeps you in step and doesn't let you get complacent and just in that flow. So it really helps out. And then, of course, we have our BBT chat room. If you'd like to try us out with the intro membership, use the pre-market 24 code, and that'll get you a week's worth of access. We recommend that you sign up for that on the weekend. That way you can join the intro class that goes on Monday and then have full access for the next 5 days to learn from there. And then we also offering 40% off our lifetime membership with the code podcast.
Excellent. Thanks, Mike.
And then one last announcement. I'm not sure if we covered it in the morning, but this Friday we will be having a chat room social get together. The moderators will be here. We'll have a few of our invited guests that will be up on the screen as well, and just have a drink and enjoy each other's company as we wind down this lockdown, or increase depending on what happens.
There you go. Yeah, that should be fun. They're always fun when we get together and just outside of the market hours, we just have a drink, share stories, have a conversation. So that'll be after the close on Friday. So that'll be pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's take a look at what we've got going for earnings. Couple things that I'm looking on. The first one was Smile Direct Club, SDC. SDC should be reporting any moment now, if they haven't already. I don't see their numbers. Oh, wait a second. No.
It did pop up here. It popped up about 30 cents.
Yeah. I saw news about the
No, it's just-
CDC, and I'm like, well, that's not it.
Yeah, now it's just hanging around $8. All right. Well, I'm just gonna head out here. I got some stuff to do.
All right, Brian. Thanks so much for joining us.
All right. All right. Well,
All
have a
right,
great
Brian.
rest of the evening, everybody. We'll probably be seeing you in the room tomorrow morning.
Yes.
All right.
See my
Peter, you're kind of frozen there. Frozen.
Yeah, I know.
both of
The
screens.
camera keeps freezing for some reason. I'm not sure why. It's the Skype we're using is not working so well today for whatever reason.
All right.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Cheers, everybody. We'll talk to you again.
Cheers,
tomorrow.
Brian.
No, I'm not, Corey. I don't have anything holding here right now. It's just too unpredictable. It's hard to say what tomorrow will bring. So that's it. Yeah. Anyway, talk to you guys later.
Thanks, Brian.
Back to that 285 that Thor was talking about a little bit earlier today.
It even disconnected on us. So, all right,
Yeah.
we're back.
I look frozen, but that's okay.
Yeah, you are. I don't. Again, we're having trouble getting it to behave.
Skype doesn't want to work today. Does not want to behave for us. No, Raggy, you still have to pay, but I think it's like $15 for the DAS replay function for a live IB account. Isn't that right, Peter?
Yes. Yeah, I think that's going to be going up at some point, but for the moment, that's the price. So. I'm still waiting. I'm surprised I haven't seen the news on Smile Direct. We're also waiting for Cisco. I wanted to see earnings on Cisco, which is supposed to be out. CSCO. There's a bunch of others. Revolve Group, which I don't normally trade. Their numbers are out. It looks like they beat their numbers both top and bottom line, so sales and earnings. RVLV is the ticker symbol on that. But it's normally low volume, not something I like to trade either way. Oh, here we go. Cisco is out. Cisco looks like they beat top and bottom line. Wow, they beat earnings by just a couple million. And they beat their on earnings as well on the bottom line. So I've got different numbers here, but it looks like they were over the 71-cent estimate in terms of earnings per share. Oh, here we go. SDC finally out. SDC misses on revenue. They only delivered 196 million versus 219 estimate, and missed on earnings per share. Estimate was a loss of 19 cents, and they lost 28 cents. So SDC feels to me like something that will probably be on our list for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Let me put them in my list so that I've got them here for tomorrow to take a look at. SDC, I'll keep here. See what their stock price is doing now. You can see a big spike down, pulled back up. I mean, this is only $7 though. Cisco, I don't normally like to trade, so, but we'll see. They may be worth trading tomorrow. Jack in the Box reported. I don't see their actual numbers. I see that they withdrew their long-term outlook. No surprise there. You gotta be struggling with all their restaurants closed. I see their price dropping. I'm not sure why that's a surprise. Oh, here we go. Here's their earnings. So they actually beat on sales. They were over on revenue, but missed on earnings. So that was JACK, Jack in the Box. That's, I don't remember if it's a low float or not, but let me check here. What's the float on Jack? I just know it doesn't trade all that well. So yeah, 22 million shares on Jack in the Box. So it's a lower float. I always think those restaurants are bigger, but they're not necessarily large floats. Let's see. Mike, anything else you were looking for from earnings? Those are the few that I wanted. I don't see anything that's moving with any excitement here post-market.
I don't see anything.
Yeah, okay.
A lot of stuff that we don't trade typically.
Yeah, so, which means that, guys, we'll just wait to see what the gappers list that we provide in the room in the morning tells us, and in the pre-market show, Carlos and Norm will go over that, and we'll see what's active, because that'll help, right? You could have a lot of stuff that's reporting, doesn't mean it'll necessarily be active or in play tomorrow, so we'll keep an eye out for that. There's a couple of... Go ahead.
Yeah, tomorrow morning, NCLH reports in the morning. So that would be an interesting one.
Oh yeah, that could be interesting. We'll see what they have to say.
Yeah, they report before the market opens, so
yeah, I don't see anything else really.
They'll probably be up there.
Bunch of names reporting tomorrow, but very small companies. A lot of pharma companies reporting tomorrow, so that could get some speculators going. If you trade low floats, it looks like there's a lot of fodder tomorrow morning, but I doubt I will be looking at any of those. So.
Yes, Jay, it's a Timbers jersey for you.
Oh, okay. There you go. Did he recognize that? Portland Timbers. Well done.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Soccer fans, we're passionate about our teams.
Okay. Well, that's what soccer is all about. Let's take a look at a couple things that were moving today. I'll just start with one of my favorites. I've been watching Microsoft. No specific catalyst, which makes it a rarity for us, but I know it moves with the SPY, and I also know that it moves fairly smoothly. So that's why I like Microsoft, and I traded it today a couple of times. I traded it off the open. And got a pull down here. You can see just a small area, but I got a nice trade on the pull down here. I missed this whole pull up, but then I got another trade as it broke through VWAP. I was actually here because you can see, if for those of you that know me, you can see one of my patterns here. It's small. Maybe let me blow that up here, make it a little more obvious. But anybody in the room that's still here can see the pattern on the chart here. This is one of my favorite patterns. So, whoa, that arrow didn't work out. What's going on here? Get rid of that. I had a top, another top, and then an area where the moving average crossed the 50 over 9 and 20. This is my favorite, detailed setup. So I saw that. I took it. I was a little nervous about this area here because you can see you've got the yesterday's close as well as the VWAP coming into play. However, it pushed through that and I was happy. Got a partial down below VWAP. And then I stopped myself out actually as it pulled through VWAP for a third time right over here because I didn't know what it was doing. I probably should have held it because I could have got that really big move, but I did not. But I did get, the move off of my pattern, which was fine. So that was nice. I did enjoy my Microsoft trades. As I mentioned, we kept an eye on Uber today. Uber's been in the news the last couple of days, and there was more rumors about Grub and the sale price. However, Uber mostly moved with the market, so there was an opportunity to trade it short. I actually took a trade short off of VWAP, which to me fit sort of my strategy. It broke VWAP, but came back and tested. This was sort of a weak, if you know my lightning bolt strategy, it was a little bit of a weak lightning bolt, but it sort of did that. That was the trade I took. I got in right around 32, and I was able to ride this thing all the way down, so I had a great opportunity to take it down. And then as I mentioned earlier, Eamon gave us the call at the bottom for a trade that allowed us to trade it back up to VWAP. So short and then a long. Rare that I'm able to reverse my trade like that, but I did in this case. I was pretty proud of that, so some good trading on that. UVAJ, that setup on Microsoft, I don't know that I have a real good name for it. It's really just a double top with a moving average cross. I don't have anything fancy that that I call it. I could call it something. The valley after the mountains. I don't know. I don't have a name for it, but it's one that I trade all the time. So
Double top with the moving average cross.
Exactly. It's long, but it's descriptive. So I think in the room people were watching a couple other things. Zillow comes to mind. I know that people were watching that because it had been in the news. So Zed. And it was pretty choppy. Look at this price action, right? Pretty erratic. I looked at that and said, no, I don't want any part of that. So I didn't end up trading it. But I did take a trade on UAL because I know in the room we were also watching both the airlines and the cruise lines. UAL was an opportunity for me. I took it. See, I had this daily level at 2176. That came off the daily chart. So for me, I took it in the morning here when I saw it sort of break below that and hold. So my trade entry was actually right here. I was watching. I think Andrew took a trade somewhere right around here, just a couple of minutes after I did, which was great. That gave me great confidence that I was on the right track. Because when Andrew takes something, it usually works out. So that made me really happy. He wrote it down, and I held this thing for a long time and wrote it all the way down to about noon when I got out of my shares. So I got a great trade out of that. I was really happy with the move I got on UAL. And Mike, it looks like our cameras are frozen again. So, anyways.
Yeah, we disconnected on Skype again.
Did we? Oh well.
So
it's we'll just have to leave it there for now and. But anyways, Mike, what were you looking at? Anything that you were trading that's
So my watch, I traded everything that wasn't on my normal watch list or not on my watch list. So I was watching Uber, Grub, and Z at the open, but I always have AMD, MU, and JD kind of on my screens on my 1 minute thumbs. And so I took my earliest trade of the year. Today I got in on a 10-minute opening range breakdown on MU. It did a nice, what I like, which is it sells off, comes back, tests the VWAP, rejects it, and then the moving average is above, and I get in there. So if you look around 940 on the 1 minute.
Okay, I see it here. Yeah.
Yep,
So
right there. So I take
here.
my entry on that second candle.
Okay.
That second red candle. So it tests it twice. It rejected it, didn't close above it. And the moving averages were above. So I took it short. I got a couple partials, got down almost to my profit target where I wanted to be. So, and then I got stopped out at break even, which is okay. And then if you flip over to JD, as I was watching that as well, at 950, it kind of started doing, if you look, it broke through VWAP. And when it came back down and tested VWAP, I went long off of VWAP and rode that up and hit my profit target. I held that for all the way up to the top and then got out as the moving averages were crossing over there at about 1040-ish.
So did you get in right after
right
here,
in
right
there.
after the touch? Interesting.
Yep, right after the touch.
That would be okay.
So
this big
and then-
candle here, this pullback didn't frighten you?
No, because had the moving averages, and then if right where those candles are, if you put a trend line, you can see that there was kind of this resistance level that it had. So that if you keep going up.
Yeah, so if you went from here, like up this way, like that?
Yes. So you had that trend line, and then you have the top, the horizontal line that's right there at like 48.55-ish. I think it is. Let me see what it is on mine. You see it right there. 48.56. Right there, how it rejected, but then once it got over and it bounced off of it, that's what I set as my my stop.
I see. Right, so that's the VWAP. So yeah, if it broke, you would have just gotten out. Interesting. Okay.
I would have just gotten out.
Wow,
So
like that is an early trade for you. You're not normally trading that early, so that's good.
Nope. So I just had those two popped up and they just appeared. Like you get I equate those trades to your eyes see it and it's seen it so many times that it's just like that's your trade and you just go through your process and execute. That was kind of what I did today. So it was an early day for me on the positive side finally.
Okay. Megan, can I just say that you just made my day? The fact that you said that you're really here because of my dad jokes. That's awesome. I don't care whether you mean it or not. Don't clarify. I don't want to know. Just let me go with that glow into the evening. That's wonderful.
I like that.
That's awesome. Okay. Yeah, so those were the key things that we traded, and we said some of them came off our list. There's a few other things that we were watching. I know some of our members were watching Cisco off the open. I said I don't normally like trading it. I mean, if you sort of look at it, it looks pretty... I was going to say it looks pretty flat, but it actually fell this afternoon with the markets. So in the morning, it wasn't doing a whole heck of a lot. I know that we had talked about, there's a couple of lower float I know that people had talked about. I don't know if anybody took any trades on them, but, and BA was something I know that Boeing, Brian was looking at Boeing, and he took a couple of trades. I think he took some long trades right in here that was playing after the open. So there was definitely opportunity on a number of different things. It just depends on what you're looking at, really, at the end of the day. So. So, with that, guys, we want to thank everybody for joining us and being here into the aftermarket. Again, back on YouTube at 8:30 in the morning with Carlos and Norm. We open the room at 7:30. And don't forget, tonight, we got a webinar. So, for all our lifetime members, you can join us. Mike, is that it's just for lifetime members? I can't recall, sorry.
Yes, lifetime members, 8 p.m.
8 p.m. All right, sounds good. I will talk to hopefully some of you there. I know I will be there, and we will talk to everybody later. Take care. Have a great night.
Thank